Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at JensArtyInclinations, a place to create, share and play.
DEPHEMEREMBER, hosted by Luise Heinzl and 49 Dragonflies, day 12 with the surprise animal, Bunny, and today is lace and postcard. So I had this gorgeous little collection of bunnies and I have a whole heap of vintage postcards that I've blown up, and I thought I'd actually try and do a page cover. Now, folks, I haven't done one of these before, so I'm sure that there's an art to it. I've just kind of muddled my way through. But if you've got any tips, I'd love to hear them below because, they'll help other people not do the same mess ups that I did. Anywho, I, first of all, just pasted the two sides together so that they would actually just flap over the page. So, and I put some lace in the background too, just over some of my doodles. So the background to this was very simple, all cottagey and lacy and, that rich textural goodness. I thought these illustration postcards were really cute and I loved the vintage look of them. I put a little pocket over the address, just, to keep that private for future, years to come. Not that I think it would matter anymore. They probably don't live there anymore, but, I thought that was nice. Some beautiful handwriting on the letter in there, which was lovely. And then as I was sticking down the inside, I thought, well, there's my first bit of lace that's on the postcard, and it's just peeking out under that flap. So I'll just stick that down there. The next piece of lace that I wanted to do was to actually have some that folded over the page and over the flap. And I picked up this gorgeous piece recently and it seemed to go really nicely with the colours. It has a lovely bit of clash with the other page there. So, yep, that's what I went for. So now that I had that sorted out, what I was going to do with the front, I decided that it was time to do some embossing. And now that I've learnt how to emboss the edges of things, I'm finding every excuse to use my embossing powder. So at first I did it very neatly and I used a piece of paper to get, a very clean edge and so forth, popping my embossing powder on. You'll notice once I get to the second one, I've given that up and I'm just using the embossing pad itself. But honestly, both sides worked just as well as each other, so that was completely fine. Embossing the edges, it actually gave it a little bit more, structure, even though it did give it texture as well, but it gave the whole fold over a bit more structure, which I really, really liked. So, it's another way to just add a little bit of weight to your pages, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. So just tapping off the second one before I go and use my heat dryer on it off camera, and then I get these lovely shiny edges. So it's sort of like a grey silver that these go to, which, see, it's quite shiny and lovely. And I don't know, with the metallic, with the softness of the lace, it's got that industrial against the oldie worldy. Yeah, I really like it. I just find it's quite a different look for me, this one. And once I've got this lace down on both sides, you can kind of see how the whole thing's come together. I love these postcards. They scanned in beautifully and they printed out so nicely. I was really happy with that. So I'm just doing down the edges at first because I want to poke little bunnies out from behind the lace, but I haven't quite worked out exactly where I'll place them at this particular stage. But it would have been nice just leaving the flaps flying loose as well. But, didn't do that. So here I am sticking it down on both sides. And now I'm ready to put my little bunnies in. And I like the little structure. It all feels like it's, working quite nicely. I like that it's a piece that you can completely pull off the whole journal. Yeah, lots of fun. Anywho, I have inked around the edges of all my bunnies and I like that just makes them nestle into that card, I feel, a little bit more. And I sort of wanted them all kind of looking at each other or looking at the scene. So I had, separated them on which way they were looking. But I'm quite proud of myself. I actually had all of these images of bunnies and I put them all up on a page, and I ended up getting quite technical. I actually used my brother's Scan and Cut to fussy cut them all out with a little white border around them, and they all looked like something professional that I bought somewhere. And yet I made them all up from all these free images that I got from somewhere. I cannot even remember where. Probably just Unsplash. However, yeah, I was very proud of myself for working all of that out. Took a little bit of working out. Probably could have fussy cut them quicker. No, I couldn't really. It did a beautiful job, I thought. And there was, hardly any tidying up. And, taught myself something else new. You can teach an old dog new tricks. There you go. Even one as old as me. So they're very cute. I sort of grouped them together. I put a little saying on each side. One was thankful and the other one was kindness. I thought, I don't know, it was just how I felt this morning, because all my subbies, I'm very thankful for all of you, and you're all so kind, and it's really lovely. So here I liked this little bunny, how he kind of held the lace in and he pokes out over that, and then I do a little bit more of that. And then once I've got all my bunnies down, I then actually stick the lace down again. I probably, if I had been quite clever with my placement of my bunnies a bit more, I probably wouldn't have even needed to stick down the edges of the lace to make them sit. However, it does make it more useful. It's not flapping around all the time. It is a little bit nicer. It gives the whole page a bit more structure too, considering it's just sitting over the page. So yeah, just finishing off, pasting my little pieces down, and all I've got to do now is just that little pocket that I added over the address to give, a little bit of discretion on camera. So that's my last little bit coming up. There we go. Popped a little bunny in one corner, little bunny in the other corner, and then I did some little bunnies as journal cards, and I just put little lace on top of them. So I glued it and I then stapled it, but I put the lace over. I like that finish. I like staples. I know a lot of people don't, but you could just put a flower over it or something. And of course it was nice to have a little couple of bunnies on either side peeking in, and that little one on the right with the big floppy ears, I really wanted to use him because I loved his little jaunty angle. So there you go, 3 little journal cards inside, little secret treasures. I thought they were just adorable. Little bunnies with little cottontails. Oh, so cute. And what did just a couple on the other side, which of course are upside down to the pocket, but that adds a little bit more fun, don't you think? Having it all upside down to each other. So there you are, everybody. There is my postcard and lace, or lace and postcard, with the surprise animal bunnies and some little surprise treasures in that pocket. And it just sits over the page. Just trying to show you the whole thing there, because of course it's bigger than camera. This book's so hard to fit into frame. You constantly get a little bit of the messy desk in the background, and you see the centimetre of desk that I have to work in because I'm such a messer. All right, and I did end up adding a little fold back clip because I didn't quite trust it, but it does seem to sit there nicely on its own. Who knew? There you go. So I just chucked a bit of lace over a normal fold back clip just to hold it in, just in case. However, I don't think I need it. I may get brave and I may see how I go. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy.